1791, Shri Mataji envisaged shifting her residence from London to Milan. In the search for a suitable residence, our hearts fell for a fairy tale character of a castle near Milan. Shri Mataji approved and the price was negotiated. However, the owner wanted an advance, which Shri Mataji was unwilling to concede. She said she would make full payment only upon registration. The owner did not relent and the deal fell. We were rather crestfallen and ventured. "Oh, but the castle has such a lot of character," Shri Mataji stated.
"Character does not count with me."
Thereafter, the search for a suitable residence continued. At a public program, the mayor of Cabella invited Shri Mataji to see a castle in his village. The driveway to the castle was too steep for Shri Mataji's Lincoln, and she had to walk up the climb. The castle was in a derelict condition. At every door the mayor unlocked. A host of pigeons greeted us. The rooms were covered with cobwebs, and her grandson began making fun of the place. Shri Mataji remained silent for a while, and then sternly turned around. "Don't laugh, I'm going to buy this castle." We stood transfixed. Shri Mataji inspected every room, and as the inspection proceeded beyond lunchtime, the owner of Posta Hotel brought pesto pasta to the castle. Shri Mataji graciously appreciated his preparations, and the conversation drifted to the castle.
When your Hamsa chakra opens, you get the discretion to see the potential of a place and are no more deceived by appearances. I can feel the tremendous potential of this castle. It is far more spacious than the one in Milan. The Milan castle appeared very impressive, but it had no potential. You see, here it is possible to salvage an extra floor out of the attic.
Not only did she buy the castle, but also turned around the dingy, dilapidated attic into an additional floor for her family. I was wonder-struck at her incredible capacity to reclaim so much out of so little. Not just that, the potential became dynamic. The new Jerusalem surpassed its original magnificence. The courtyard grew seamlessly into a puja hangar, a parking lot, and a children's prayer area. The goddess blushed at her own creation. Shri Mataji asked a new yogi to address a public program. He was nervous and stammered through his address. I reported the matter to Shri Mataji. She responded,
"You have to gauge the potential of people and then allow it to precipitate."
I pulled my ears. "Shri Mataji, my attention only goes to the faults of others. I must have been a critic in my previous life." She burst into peals of laughter. I was reminded of the romantic epic of Laila Majnu. The public jeered Majnu, "What a fool you are to run after Laila who's so ugly." Majnu smiled. "Ah, perhaps you don't have eyes to see her beauty." In any case, my eyes were mesmerized by the glitter of the world. But now I made a commitment to myself. There is no way this lifetime I would allow my ego to miss the opportunity by wasting my attention in socializing politicians or celebrities. They care little about anybody but themselves, and I do not intend wasting my life and attention on account of them. I resolved to reap the pearls of wisdom cast by Shri Adi Shakti, and rescheduled my morning meditation to 4 a.m. I meditated intensely and worked on sharpening my attention and internalizing the power of compassion. At the end of the public program, Shri Mataji graciously patted the anchor with a big thumb. Watching the deserts turn into oases and third-hand ships weather stormy oceans, a question arose in my mind. Shri Mataji, how do you do it? I thought to myself, if she had so much faith in us, why not we too have a little more faith in our acquaintances, friends and relations? I reopened the file of all the people I had deleted and decided to give them a chance. Shri Mataji called upon a novice to anchor a musical evening. She instructed him to address the audience humbly and to be respectful to the elderly and observe the protocols. During his anchoring, she kept giving him encouraging nods. As the singing went off a bit, she overheard my snide remark to another yogi, and she said, "What are you judging, your ego or your superego? Every critic should himself ask if he can perform any better." I pulled my ears. Shri Mataji bestowed a scholarship on him. Her Vatsalya also embraced the hills and dales of the Himalayas, and they blushed. She was pleased. I ventured to ask, "Do the Swayambhus also absorb vibrations?" "No," she said. I asked, "How do vibrations emit?" "For the vibrations to act," she said, "there has to be a coefficient. Vibrations have an absolute coefficient. Thus, the coefficient emits vibrations. Only God and humans have the coefficient that emits vibrations." I asked, "What is the coefficient in humans?" "In the human cell, electrons and protons have mesons, and its coefficient absorb vibrations." "Are these vibrations similar to what modern physics talks about?" "No," she said. "The vibrations in physics are only electromagnetic." I stood spellbound before the painting of a young brother. "God, you're a genius." He answered modestly, "I'm not a genius. Before commencing my work, I stand before the canvas and pray, 'O Goddess, how may I please thee?'" I asked, "Does her guidance always come?" He said, "If I neglect my chakras, it takes a while to clear them." True, original creativity stems from the perennial source of love. But in the case of the young artist, there was a special quality that bore the sweet fragrance of our beloved mother. It was not the sweet fragrance of roses or jasmine. It was a sweeter fragrance, the fragrance of her innate nature, that is, compassion. Her compassion flowed through the young artist in such a way that he would always give a chance to his fellow artists to grow. He supported and uplifted them in every way. He gladly shared his tools and delighted in their creativity. In turn, their creativity became an instrument to uphold the Kundalini of others. It reminded me of Tansen's story, the chief musician in the court of the Mughal Emperor Akbar. One day Akbar inquired, "Is there anyone in the world who can sing like you?" Tansen replied, "My master, Haridas sings even better than me." Akbar summoned Haridas, but he refused to come. Tansen advised Akbar to visit Haridas instead. Akbar did likewise. But Haridas was in no mood to sing. So Tansen devised a trick to provoke him. He sang his favorite melody and then deliberately faltered. Unable to break his impropriety, Haridas repeated the correct melody himself. Akbar was spellbound. "How come you cannot sing like your master?" Tansen humbly replied, "I sing to please your majesty, whereas Haridas sings to please God." And what of those who sing to please the Adi Shakti? The Kundalini raises each one's potential to its climax, where the creator and the creation merge, and drenched both with joy. Shri Mataji embellished her children's creativity with lavish gifts. Not just that, she glorified it with her divine graciousness. More than the gift, they were inspired by the quality of graciousness which she bestowed it. For instance, when the musicians were to be rewarded, the purse was placed on a silver tray with a beautiful silk scarf upon it. Or when she gifted handbags or briefcases, she would place money in it. "How can you gift an empty bag to someone?" she said. I watched in awe how her graciousness transformed matter into a font of vibrations. But my two eyes were not enough to see all her wonders. At one puja, I was blessed with the opportunity to decorate the silver trays for the musicians. After Shri Mataji presented them, I forgot to return them to the castle. At night, as I sat down for a foot soak, the silver trays flashed before me. I panicked. What if they were lost? What if someone had walked away with them? I grabbed my shawl and hastened to the puja hanger. It was 3 a.m. The lights were off, and the only music was the raga of deafening snores. With the help of a flashlight, I searched the wings and the stage, but they were nowhere to be found. I was desperate and begged Shri Mataji's forgiveness. My prayers had hardly escaped my lips when I was engulfed by cool vibrations. They seemed to flow from the center of the stage where the throne was placed. But the silver trays were nowhere in sight. As I bowed before the throne, my forehead struck against something hard. Were the Ganas punishing me? I massaged the bump on my forehead and turned the carpet. Lo and behold, the pile of 7 silver trays greeted me with a silver smile. I hugged the trays and thanked the prudent angel who had safely hidden them.